Level 1, the beginner. You're 6 years old. Your grandfather sets a board on the kitchen table. 32 pieces. 64 squares. 32 light, 32 dark. He places the pawns first, then the rooks in the corners. You learn how the pawn moves, 1 square forward, 2 on its first try. You learn how the knight jumps in an L, ignoring anything in its path. You learn how the bishop glides on a single color for its whole life. You learn how the rook owns a straight line with no exceptions. You learn how the queen inherits every path at once, the strongest piece on the board. You play your first game. You lose in 9 moves. Your grandfather explains check. He explains checkmate, the king with no square left to run. You play again. You lose in 6 moves this time. Your teacher runs a lunch club on Tuesdays. You join. You're the youngest kid in the room by 2 years. You find a fork on your third game there. 1 knight, 2 targets, his king, his queen. Your chest tightens. You forget to look at the rest of the board. You lose the queen back on the very next move. You face an opponent your own age in the club's mini-tournament. His hands stay still on the table. Yours tap the edge of it. He checkmates you in 12 moves. You knock over your own king before he can. You shake his hand. His grip is firm. Yours is cold. You cry at the table. Nobody stops you. The teacher writes a note home. Your son needs a real tournament. One with a clock. One with a rating number attached to his name. Level 2, the Class C player. You're 8 years old. Your first rated tournament runs 5 rounds. You lose the first. You lose the second. Round 3, you blunder a rook on move 11. You resign before the clock can punish you further. Round 4, same result. 0 points out of 4. Your father signs you up for private lessons. $80 an hour. The coach is a Class A player with a beard. His chess.com blog has 11 followers. You learn algebraic notation. Every square gets a letter. Every square gets a number. A 1 through H8. You write down every move you make in pen for the rest of your competitive life. You lose to a boy with a stutter who has the Rui Lopez memorized 11 moves deep. You lose to a girl half your height who won't move her queen before move 15. You lose to a homeschooled kid who brings his own chess clock in a velvet case. You lose to your own father's former student, a 9-year-old with a rating higher than your father's. You open a library book on the Sicilian defense. You study it for 6 weeks. Next tournament, round 2, you play it against a boy rated 200 points above you. Move 17, you find it Swishenzug, an in-between move that wins his queen outright. You win the game. Your provisional rating turns into a real number, 1140. At home, your father recalculates the grocery budget at the kitchen table. Coaching costs more than the mortgage some months. He doesn't say this to you. You hear it through the wall. You reach 1,500 by the end of the year. Your coach tells you that you could reach expert. He tells you it would cost every weekend you have left. Level 3, the expert. You're 11 years old. You give up Sarah's birthday party for the Ohio State Championship. You give up Saturday cartoons for opening prep on a borrowed laptop database. You give up the trip to your cousin's lake house for a 5-round tournament in a Marriott conference room. You give up sleep the night before the last round, replaying a drawn position you should have won. You study king and pawn endgames. Opposition, the key squares that decide a race to promotion. You learn the word Zugzwang, a position where any move you make makes things worse. You sit across from a 61-year-old accountant in round 2. He beats you in 55 moves. You sit across from a retired dentist in round 4. He offers a draw at move 30. You take it. Your hands are shaking too hard to calculate further. Your rating crosses 2,000. Expert. The arbiter doesn't announce it. Nobody claps. You find out from a spreadsheet posted to a folding table by the door. You fall asleep at the board once in a 5-hour game. Your head drops half an inch before you catch it. Round 5 of a different tournament. You are up a full rook with 12 seconds on your clock. Your opponent has 4 minutes. You reach for your king to make luft, a safety square. You freeze over which one to choose. The flag falls. Your clock reads 0. The arbiter rules a loss on time. Your rook means nothing now. You slam your palm on the table. The arbiter warns you under the laws of chess for disturbing the room. You study faster after that. Sharper. You get invited to a regional open with 2 international masters in the field. Level 4, the national master. You are 13 years old. Round 6 of a 6-hour game. You deliver checkmate. Rook, bishop, working together. Your rating cross is 2200. National master. 96% of USCF's 80,000 members never see this number. Your name appears in Chess Life magazine, a single paragraph on page 41. You beat a man who played chess in college 2 decades ago. You beat a woman who coaches your rival school's team. You beat a 14-year-old rated exactly where you are on tiebreak seconds. You beat your own coach in a practice game for the first time in 4 years. You face your first FIDE master across the board. He beats you in 19 moves, barely looking up from his score sheet. You memorize the Najdorf variation to move 20, every branch your database contains. You install a chess engine on your laptop. It rates your every move. It tells you, calmly, exactly how many points you just lost on move 14. You tutor a 9-year-old for $40 an hour after school. Your classmate bags groceries for the same wage. No rating required. National Master doesn't pay the way people assume it does. Your coach says USCF is a domestic ceiling. FIDE is the real ladder. The world doesn't know your name yet. It knows the number 2,200 inside one country's borders only. Level 5, the FIDE Master. You're 15 years old. You board your first international flight alone. 15 years old. A chess set in your carry-on. A note from your mother taped inside the passport. Your FIDE rating cross is 2,300 after 24 rated games. FIDE Master. No norm required, only the number itself. You play in Budapest for €100 in prize money. You play in Capella Grande for 100 entrants, 11 grandmasters among them. You play in Tromsø in the Arctic summer, sun at midnight, unable to sleep before round 9. You play in a converted gymnasium in North Macedonia, folding chairs creaking on every move. You lose in the first round at Tromsø to a 14-year-old prodigy who will pass your rating within a year. You sleep on a hotel room floor in Georgia to split the cost 4 ways with 3 other juniors. The carpet smells like cigarettes from a decade ago. You teach yourself to read Russian algebraic annotations from a Soviet-era manual. The letters are unfamiliar. The analysis is decades ahead of anything translated into English. Your high school graduation happens without you. You sit in a playing hall in Serbia during the final round of a tournament, 5,000 miles from the auditorium. Your diploma arrives by mail. Nobody is home to sign for it. Your rating means less now than what comes next. 3 IM norms. Not a number. A performance verified, repeated 3 separate times, in 3 separate events, against 3 separate fields. Level 6, the International Master. You are 17 years old. You calculate your performance rating after every round, by hand, twice, to be sure. You calculate what score you need against the last 2 opponents to hit 2450. You calculate the cost of 1 more flight against a bank balance you already know by heart. You calculate, in the last round, that a draw is not enough. It never was. Your first IM norm comes at a tournament in Novi Sad. Performance rating, 2451. 1 point above the line. Your second attempt slips away in the final round. You need a win. Your opponent offers a draw on move 31. You take it out of fear. You lose the norm by half a point. There was no other option that felt survivable. Your bank account sits at $40 after the flight home. Your mother wires you money for the next entry fee without telling your father. Your grandfather dies in the middle of your 3rd norm attempt. The funeral is in 4 days. Your visa won't allow re-entry if you leave the country early. You play the final round. You win it. You get the norm. You board a plane 2 days too late for the service. FIDE rating, 2406. 3 norms, verified, stamped, sent to Switzerland for approval. International Master, confirmed by mail 8 weeks later. Only 1 title separates you from the 2,000 people on Earth who call themselves Grandmaster. Level 7, the Grandmaster. You are 21 years old. Your first game of the Norm tournament is against a Ukrainian grandmaster rated 200 points above you. Your fifth game is against a Cuban grandmaster who hasn't lost a classical game in 14 months. Your ninth game is against an Indian grandmaster ranked inside the world's top 50. Your performance rating after 9 rounds, 2604. Your second Norm attempt stalls at move 51 of the final round. A drawn rook endgame. You spend 40 minutes trying to convert it into something more. It ends in a draw. The Norm survives by 1 decimal point. A third Norm follows 5 months later in Greece. Each one requires 3 titled players in the field. Opponents averaging above 2380. A fresh set of strangers to prove yourself against every time. The FIDE Council approves your title at its quarterly meeting 3 months after your final Norm. A confirmation email arrives, 4 sentences long. No ceremony attached. You do your first interview for chess.com. The comments section calls your rise too fast. 41 people ask, without evidence, if you cheated. You beat a 2600 rated opponent with a 4 sequence. You calculated 26 moves deep at the board. He posts about it online that night. He doesn't name you. Everyone reading already knows who he means. Your next tournament installs a metal detector at the playing hall door. You empty your pockets. Phone. Wallet. A coin your grandmother gave you before she died. The arbiter wand your collar, your sleeves, your shoes. You have done nothing wrong. It doesn't matter. Your rating sits at 2520. The players above 2700 don't answer your emails asking for practice games. A gap sits above Grandmaster before whatever comes next. You're standing at the bottom of it, looking up. Level 8, the Super Grandmaster. You are 25 years old. Your rating crosses 2700 after 8 games without a loss. Super Grandmaster, un oficial, no plaqué, no cerimônia. Everyone in the top 100 knows this number matters more than any Title FIDE prints on paper. The FIDE circuit invites you to 6 designated events a year. First prize at each one runs 6 figures. The fine print requires 40 rated games a season to keep your ranking bonus points active. You play a 5-round club championship in a state you have never visited. Opponents rated 800 points below you, padding the count before the season deadline. A chess forum calls it rating farming. 40,000 people read the thread by morning. You weigh 158 pounds in January. You weigh 151 pounds in March after the Tata Steel Masters. You weigh 146 pounds in June after back-to-back events, Zagreb, then Stavanger. You weigh 140 pounds in September, 18 pounds gone since the year began. A doctor at your federation's mandatory checkup asks if you are eating. You tell him you forget, mid-tournament, most days. He writes something down you don't get to read. The candidates tournament has 8 seats. You are ranked 11th in the qualification standings, with 2 events left to climb 3 spots. Level 9, the World Championship candidate. You are 28 years old. 8 players. Double round robin. 14 games. The time control gives each side 120 minutes for the first 40 moves. 30 minutes more after that. 30 seconds added per move from move 41 onward. Round 1. You nearly lose a completely winning position. Your own clock drops under 10 seconds. You save it with a 3-fold repetition spotted with 2 seconds left. Round 3. You beat the tournament's top seed with a novelty prepared 4 months in advance. Round 7. You beat the defending candidate's runner-up in a queen endgame that runs 6 hours. Round 11. You draw with black against a rival you have never beaten before. Round 13. With 1 round left to play, the tournament is already over. You have won it outright, a full point ahead of the field. The press conference runs 40 minutes. A reporter asks how it feels. You don't have an answer that fits in a soundbite. A prize of $2.5 million waits at the championship match, still 4 months away. You call your parents from the hotel lobby. Your mother cries. Your father asks if you've eaten anything today. A message arrives from a name you haven't seen in 15 years. The boy who beat you in Class D, back when you were both 8. He works in insurance now, in a city you'd have to look up on a map. He types 4 words, proud of you. You read it twice. Two paths split apart at age 8 in a church basement with folding tables. Neither of you noticed at the time. A 14-game match for the World Championship is 4 months away. Somewhere, the person who currently holds the title is already studying your games. Level 10, the World Champion. You are 32 years old. Game 14 of the match. You are up 2 points with 1 game left to play. A draw secures the title outright. You get a draw in 31 moves, a Berlin in-game both of you have studied since childhood. The arbiter announces the final score. You do not move for 4 full seconds. Your hands are flat on the table, the position still in front of you, already meaningless. You hold a trophy that weighs more than you expected. Cameras crowd the stage, more press than you have ever seen gathered around a chessboard. A reporter asks what's next. You realize, mid-answer, that you don't have an opponent left to study. Every player ranked above you retired, or was you, 3 years ago. You think of the grandfather who taught you the knight's move. Dead 11 years now. Missed at his own funeral for a norm you needed. You think of the friend from Class D, the one who works in insurance. For words you never answered. You think of the diploma that arrived by mail to an empty house. You think of every weekend, every birthday, every ordinary Tuesday you traded for this exact moment. The hotel room is quiet by 11 that night. The trophy sits on the desk, next to a room service tray nobody has cleared. Your phone holds 43 unread messages. You do not open any of them. You stand at the window. A park sits 4 floors below, empty this late, 1 bench lit by a street lamp. In the morning, before your flight, you walk through that same park. An old man sits at a folding table with a travel chess set. A boy, maybe 6, sits across from him, chin barely clearing the pieces. The old man shows him how the knight moves. 2 squares, then 1, in an L. You stop walking. You watch for a long moment. Close enough to hear the pieces click against the board. Far enough that neither of them notices you. The cycle continues.